Hello, my audience. Hey! Hey, you! I had to sneeze really bad. That hurt. Actually, bad hurt. To sneeze. That hurt my sinuses. Anyway, I'm reviewing the Dark Knight Trilogy from 2005 to 2012. All three installments to the Dark Knight saga. Directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Christian Bale, Batman. And, I give Batman Begins in 2008 sequel, The Dark Knight, the same score, a 7 out of 10. And I give Batman third outing, The Dark Knight Rises, a 8 out of 10. Now, I have lots of problems with the first two ones and the third one. So, and I guess things I like about and hate about the movies, all three installments. So I'm going to go for all the bullshit and shit. And the good ideas I thought, good things I got to say about the movies, and bad things I have to say about the movies that I hated. I thought Scarecrow was a cool villain in Batman Begins, and his scene reprised his role in the sequels were wasted potential, and I hated him reprising his role in the sequel because he's just wasted potential in the sequel. He's not as cool as he was in the first one versus the first one. Doesn't get better, he gets weaker of the character. And that's one of the bad news is about the trilogy. And what started good, it has started off good starting point with Scarecrow, went downhill after once two gets and worse in the third one. Scarecrow's appearance is wasted. Played by the same actor playing Scarecrow, which I don't understand if you're just going to not really have him in the movie. Why bother getting this same actor instead of just recasting him like you did with Rachel? Don't know. Who's can say? It's just one of the many scenes Nolan's questionable filmmaking career decisions. That's a mystery to me. As much as recasting Rachel wanting to kill her off in the second outing. And kind of undeveloped character in the sequel. Compared to the first one, she got the best developed. You killed her off and you didn't got the same actress. You got a different actress just to kill her off. It's just stupid. And Harvey Dent surviving his birthmarks was stupid. Taking the Two-Face design from the comics, and he doesn't take the Two-Face persona. He just says Harvey Dent going on a killing spree because he thinks he's bringing on revenge for Rachel, blah blah blah, because of her death. I don't care. And I didn't care for Bane, even though I liked Tom Hardy's as the character. I didn't care for Bane. What I mean is, he was cool as a character before he wasn't. You know how the movie made Bane not the main threat behind everything, but made him nearly a pawn henchman in the grander schemes of the movie, as the villain was behind the curtain, being Talia Ra's al Ghul's daughter within the Nolan trilogy. So Bane's not the main mastermind, it's Talia. It's so yeah, Bane was cool before the movie decided to make him lame in the same plot of his first outing played by Tom Hardy, and only outing that Tom Hardy plays Bane. Because the movie does kill him off by shooting him, and not even Batman making the kill, but some female empowerment woman figure played by Anne Hathaway, Catwoman character. A she-woman hero is the one who saves Batman from getting shot and shooting Bane with the guns and cold blood, and it's just killing Bane. And instead of Batman defeating Bane, he gets defeated by the woman hero of the feminist movie. Woke bullshit. That is. making the feminine hero be the one that stops the main threat instead of the main hero that the movie is marketed around. What a bunch of bullshit. Still, I gotta admit, the third one is definitely the best in the trilogy in terms of shooting in terms of shooting cinematic action and making out the geography and making out what's going on in the action. What my problem was by Batman Begins that definitely improved on, and this one continues to improve on, is like shooting action that can make out. You know how like a Batman Begins, it throws a bunch of quick chop edited things where the action was happening. There was a bunch of quick edits, choppily edited during the action, during the quick time events of the action. This felt like a TV movie when they did that. I couldn't help give that feeling that was originally meant to be a TV movie, this Batman Begins flick. When you see action shot like that and edited like that, poorly. Can't make out anything. I mean, I'm forgetting most of it. The action. One action shot was shot well was the tumbler during the chase between him and the police. That was shot action, but the rest was kind of mediocre. It was shot like a TV special, TV show. Like see from this, like I think CW TV shows that DC projects edited their action much smoother together than this movie. Batman Begins outing for Christian Bale's first outing as Batman. And the voice he does is less gravelly, more of a whisper than less of a gravel. In the first Batman movie that he's part of, in the movie he gravels more, less whispers when he talks, and gravels more in the third one and in the first sequel. Like he has a different. I wouldn't be surprised if someone audio tuned this voice to make it sound less shitty. Because I bet that's not Christian Bale's real voice that he uses for this movie. I bet someone auto-tuned to make it sound better. And they just forgot to say, fuck it, let's make it sound worse in the sequels. This is what Nolan thought was good to torture the audience as a joke. Practical joke. Haha, very funny, Nolan. But I'd rather have my ears not bleed with listening to gravel sounds. I'd rather have the blood stay in my ears, not outside my ears. Listen to Christian Bale's voice as Batman makes me feel bad like that. My ears about to bleed. And also my eyes, probably. Guess what it feels like? It feels like my eyes and ears are ready to bleed and lead to a stroke. A wonderful stroke to death in the afterlife for me. Is what listening to Bale's Batman voice feels like to me. I'm about to have a stroke and meet death. And hell is going to wait where this movie will play in my torture chamber when I enter hell. This trilogy will play in hell for all of eternity to drive me mental. That's what I'm afraid of this Nolan trilogy is or maybe hell's not a real thing. Maybe this is my day in hell. Watching this Nolan trilogy, I believe, sometimes. Flip-flop back and forth between two different epiphanies of my beliefs. Is this the torture that awaits me in hell of the afterlife, or is there no afterlife and this is hell on earth for me? The question's in the air for me. That's why I give Batman Begins a 7 out of 10, and Dark Knight a 7 out of 10, and Dark Knight Rises a 8 out of 10. My favorite one's the third one. Least favorite's, I think, number 2. Or maybe number 1. Not sure. I flip-flop back and forth, which is my least favorite in the trilogy. between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight 2008. I know the third one's my favorite on the trilogy, even though it has some fairly stupid points in the movie I mentioned. I still say this is my favorite one in the trilogy. Do I recommend any of these movies? Fuck no. I wouldn't recommend these to my worst enemy, mom, or Vinny. And I hate those bastards. They were those two adults that abused me as a kid and neglected me. And even though I lived with them, they neglected me, didn't let me have any fun, and isolated and had me isolated. And I wasn't, because I didn't like really have any friends to hang out with outside of school or inside of school. But I did have my friendly hamster to stick by with my side all those years. His name was Buddy. And he lived with me, and when I lived with Mom and Vinny as a kid, I started living with them at 5 till 13 is when I left there. On Friday the 29th, 2010. And that was the day Buddy, my hamster, died. He kept me company at my room all of those years. Even when Mom and Vinny wanted me to get rid of him. I refused to, and I ended up getting abused by them. Because, I'm not going into detail because it's too upsetting for me. But yeah, I would often get abused. Number one reason would be because I would refuse to get rid of my hamster and put him in the wild. Because I didn't see him as wild. I saw him as a house pet. Or my friend. Or my son that I adopted at the time. Is how I saw him. And I had him got him when I was 5 years old in 2003 on October 1st. Wednesday it was. And October 2010, Friday, 29th, when I was 13 years old, that's when he passed away right in front of my eyes. He just collapsed and stopped breathing and collapsed it on his body. And you know what happens when dead people, they go to Matilda. That's what happened. That's how I knew for sure Buddy was dead and not just, you know. And it's just like, I kind of got feeling I knew he was dead, and, but I was having trouble, dealing with it at the time because I was crying a lot because I think of all the times we spent together and watching television in my room. Sometimes when when I'm awake and he's awake, and we spend lots of times together, good moments together, me and Buddy. He was my only friend really I had as a kid at those ages. He was one of my really only friends I had outside of my family members that were blood related to me. And I got him a girlfriend in the earlier years before he passed away, but his girlfriend died before he died, even though, Buddy was a year older than his girlfriend. They were only 1 year apart from each other. And, so yeah, she died of a heart attack. And I hold her and hug and just hold her, hold her, keeping her company while she was having a heart attack. I hold her like in a holding position, like pretend like hold her just so she wouldn't feel lonely, and while she was dying of a heart attack. And I was basically talking to her, saying I love her. Her name was Linda, Buddy's girlfriend's name. And I also had a dog in those years. His name was Rocky. But he couldn't come with me because Vinny wouldn't let me take him or say goodbye to him forever. Dad said goodbye to him, but it looked like to him. He didn't tell me this till years later, after we were living together for a few years, for many years, me and Dad, without Rocky. Dad didn't tell me that Rocky looked like he wasn't going to make it that much longer. It looked like he looked like this old and out of it. Like he was going to die soon. And, well, that made me feel a little bad. It didn't make me feel fully bad because I would have liked to still bring him with me, even though he wasn't going to last the whole day. I just wanted to take care of him, Rocky, because he was my friend, one of my friends I had as a kid, and I just wanted to take care of him until he died of old age, like I did with Buddy and Linda. And I miss those guys. Those guys were my family and friends, close friends as a kid. Even though they weren't, I knew they were never related to me, but I thought of them as my family members. Because, when you live with my mom and Vinny, who are the only two adults I'm living with at the time, and during those years, they don't really treat you like your family. They treat you like you're a nuisance and call you a leech. If you're being taken care of by mom or Vinny when I was living with them, but in addition to abuse, they call me a leech or in a nuisance, but I didn't know what those words meant at the time because during living with them. So when I understand, I have some I just didn't understand because I don't really hear it often, like leech or nuisance, when they called me that and useless, and I often like got things called like that, with a few swear words here and there sprinkled in their sentences. No, most notably the F bomb often. And that's why I have a bit of a foul mouth now these days as an adult and a bit of anger issues here and there throughout my day as a kid. And I mean, as an adult now. And since my kid years came and gone, living with mom and Vinny. So, why did I bring this up? I forget. I guess I finished my review on Batman Trilogy, and I talked about a little bit of my memories. So what should I call this video, I wonder? I'm thinking about it now. I'll figure out. Bye. Like this video, subscribe. Goodbye. Next time I'll see you on my next video. Whatever that might be. Bye.